was the world rankings. It was Engin made his world ranking list, and it was tied in with the East versus West. All the super matches were there. He he needed a starting place, so this was his starting place. When did you get to see the rankings and all? Did you get to see the list he put out?
I saw it briefly a little bit. I know it was based on East versus West, and that caused a lot of controversy with saying that Jerry's number one in the world.
No. You said okay. So let me just read the list real quick, and then we're gonna go into it. All right. So he has Levon at number 1, then he has Jerry at number 2, Gennady at number 3, 4 Artem Morozov, 5 Dave Chafee, 6 Alex Kudecha, 7 Hermes Gasparini, 8 Rivas, number 9 Mike Todd, number 10 Prudnyk. So when he put that out, Devin had a problem with it. Devin's first issue was that, like you said, he had Jerry at number 2. And then he also had a problem with the Russians not being on there. So I just want to give a little quick for the subscribers. If you don't know, Engin is part of the Turkish Federation of Arm Wrestling, which also works with all the other organizations around the world and all. So they have a ban right now on the Russian athletes being part of any of their events, and, with all the stuff going on in Russia and Ukraine, it's, that's just the politics right now, unfortunately. So that's why Engin can't. It's really not an option for him. He does say that they're going to eventually be allowed back on, as soon as he gets the okay, but it's not up to him. It's actually against the law in in Turkey. So, you really can't blame him on that. So, but what do you think with his setup of the world rankings? Because the other problem was that Devin was like, it's going to be human bias, because whenever you have a human doing things, it's going to, be affected by their opinions and thoughts, where he proposed using the chess system, which is the ELO system. So what's your thoughts on all that? And who do you think is right in this whole situation?
Yeah, it's difficult with politics and everything involved. I think number one within core sports. So let's keep it within core sports, yeah. So because they also sponsor the East versus West. So in core sports, I believe Devin should be on that list. He should be above Michael Todd, because within core sports, at a core sports event, Devin beat Michael Todd. So I don't know why Devin's not on the list. The Russians.
So hold on. Let me just give you. I don't mean to cut you off, but part of that is the inactivity, and Engin pulled Devin off because he offered him a bunch of matches, and just because Devin is still recovering from Levon, and he stated that he was like, Engin, I need time or whatever, and Engin came to him a couple more times, and Devin just stopped answering. So I believe that. Engin decided that, he should be marked as inactive. So that was also part of the controversy. Those were the 3 main issues right there.
Yeah. See, someone like Devin, I respectfully disagree with Engin on that. I know there's a lot more to it that I'm not privy to and I'm not understanding, but as a spectator, I think the stuff that Devin has done recently with, within King of the Table, I think that should stand for something. Like I said, like Michael Todd is number 10 on the list, but Devin dominantly beat him, recently. I forget what the time span was between Michael Todd and Levon, but, he still beat, within like recent memory, he still beat Michael Todd. So I do believe Devin has a place on that list. I would probably tentatively put him there instead of Michael Todd in that top 10, kind of further down, especially with Devin's plans to go down to, 230, something like that, around that catch weight, at 230, 240, I think it was 245 he said he was going to go down there. Not 220.
I didn't actually hear a number, but we just know that he's going to be going down, yeah. So
which makes sense for the Prudnyk match. So if they have a catch weight, Prudnyk, I don't see Prudnyk getting bigger than 115. I know that's not
Yeah,
set in stone.
so you're right with that. So if they, they do get their match, it's 115 kilogram is the cap. It's 110
Yeah.
class, but they will allow the 115.
So that's like 255, something like that.
253, I believe the exact number.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. So I think, with that bit of information, like if Devin decided to stay big and heavy, then, potentially we would have to put him a little bit higher. But because he's cutting down, it makes sense that he's going to stay lower in the list until he climbs this particular world ranking list that is, essentially a core sports world ranking list, pretty much, because of the inclusion of Levan at the top, who is undeniably number one. I think it's probably correct to put Jerry at number two. I know there's a little bit of, who has the winning record between Dave Chafee and Jerry. So there's,
and also Monster. So Devin was saying, how do you have Jerry above Dave Chafee and Monster Michael Todd when,
I think above Monster Michael Todd makes sense because the WoW matches can't be, in my opinion, are invalid in terms of a ranking. Sure, you can go, yeah, I beat him. It's like I've beaten Jerry. My next question is going to be where? Because I think where matters when we're talking about WAL versus WAF versus King of the Table, East versus West, and King of the Table rules are, they're pretty similar. Yeah, so it's tricky. I do believe Devin should be on that list. I also think that Michael Todd deserves a place on that list too. We just don't know where to put him. Do we put him against Prudnyk? Do we, he lost against Rivas. Rivas is dude, that guy's an animal. And I think he potentially should be ranked, it could be ranked even higher, could be. So there's lots of wishy-washy. We don't know where things are in the middle.
His actual next match against Artem Morzov is going to be a good telling, because we know Artem's at that 4th position and Rivas is at 8. So that could be a potential huge jump for him and put him in that top 5.
Yeah, or it could just be, a correction. And, and of course, like with the exclusion of the Russians, no Vitaly, no Salayev, those guys throw a big spanner in the works too. And I've always said the top 5 guys, except for Levan, so let's go from number 2 to say number 6. Who can rank that with any certainty? Because it's any one of those guys could beat the other on any given day. So the top 10 list is really a mix of, have they got their chemistry right? Have they got their peak right? Have they had enough time to train? Have they been too long off? Have they been too inactive? Like there's so many moving parts that can change the outcome of that top 10. Like we have Vitaly going against Salayev in a match coming up. Now, I believe that's a kick up the ass for Vitaly, and we're going to see a correction. I believe Vitaly is going to win. And, we're going to go, okay, he wasn't in shape, he hadn't trained and hadn't competed in ages, and he got, Salayev knocked the dust off him, and now he's going to come back.
The only thing with that is, I don't think, is it an actual super match, though, that they got, or are they just going to see each other in a tournament?
I think it's a super match. I could be wrong, but when I heard about it, I remember going, "Oh, they're having a match, sick," because they already saw each other in tournaments.
Yeah.
And Salayev won twice, so that definitely makes for an interesting match, and I'm sure we'll talk about that when it comes closer to the date. But when you take those guys out of the mix, who gets bumped out of that top 10, like. We get to the stage where top 20 is some bad motherfuckers, right?
Yeah.
Real. Man. Like,
so who would you say though is right now? Because the way I'm looking at it is you got to start somewhere, and Engin having the top organization, you got to say, if you're want to be the best, that's the organization you got to get part of, and you got to get ranked in there. So right now they might be not the most accurate rankings because we don't have enough info to give us that yet. But every
Yeah.
event we go and every king of table, every East versus West, we're gaining more intel, and it's going to get that much better and that much tighter. So in my eyes, I think we got at least a starting point. So what would you say? Would you say this is the way to proceed on, or is something like Devin is saying with the ELO system and all might be a better way of getting more accurate rankings?
I mean, the point of accuracy in this instance appears to be a mitigation of hurting people's feelings. So I think in the short term, people kind of need to swallow a couple of concrete tablets and harden the fuck up. Just get over it. Like, go compete at the thing. Like, yes, it's a top 10 list. You might not be on the list. Well, fucking get yourself there. Say yes to a match. Repair yourself, and it's okay. Like, once if Devin beats Prudnyk, bam, he's right. He's smack bang in the middle of that list. So it's like, what are you fucking crying about? That you got excluded now? Does that mean that your fans or everyone, like, it's like, why are you getting, like, sorry, Devin, but why are you getting butthurt? Like, just wait. Just wait. Like, we already know that Devin's in the mix. Everyone who knows Devin knows that he's in the mix. So, I mean, even Engin knows he's in the mix. Otherwise, he wouldn't give him a match against fucking Prudnyk, right? Like, you don't give someone Prudnyk unless you think they're right there, right? So it's like, maybe Devin's just doing it for some views and to make some controversy. It doesn't strike me as someone that gets his feelings hurt much, but I think he likes to poke Engin, and he likes to piss him off because he knows that's going to get views. So, it's probably that. But if it's not, shut up, man. Just get on your list.
I think it's both of them, man. I think they both, they're both got their real strong views, and they always, they're good friends when they get together in person, but they definitely butt heads on a lot of things. And the way I look at it is Engin wants everybody part of East versus West. So he's going to do what it takes to get you involved. And if he offers you something and you kind of like just turn him down or whatever, he's going to press more. He's going to keep going. He's going to try corner you to finally get you in that match. And, I think Devin was just trying to like ignore him for a little while and, wasn't answering him. He answered him back right away. But then, after he kind of just didn't give him an answer, and Engin's not that guy that's just going to lay down and, accept that. So I think that's when the prodding started, and I believe that's why those world rankings went out, and then that sparked Devin to call in. And what happened at the end of the day? Devin is agreed to be part of East versus West. He didn't say a match, he didn't say a date yet, but as a man, he gave his word. And that's kind of all Engin wanted to do at the and now he's got him part of it. So I think that was kind of a smart kind of chess play by Engin, so to say.
yeah. Devin lost the mind game and got backed into a corner.
But
it's nice to see a change.
Yeah, I love Devin. I'm not taking away anything from him. I mean, I believe he is, he is our guy, bro. He's our ambassador, our sport. He's really doing the big things. And as a fan, I want to see him part of East versus West because it's the top organization, and anything that he's part of, it makes it that much better. And I mean, it gets the whole world watching when Devin's part of something.
Yeah, man. And I can see. Like, I really want him involved too. Like, I want everyone to be a part of East versus West as well. And honestly, I think Turkey is an amazing place to do it because, like, for me, who eats so much, like, how I eat, man.
Yeah,
always eat. And everything there that an athlete needs is readily available and it's cheap.